Good evening. This is All India Radio, Kohima. I'm Ketholena with the evening news. The headlines. Amid extension of third lockdown, relaxations allowed in green zones, restrictions continue in red zones. All flight services to remain suspended till 17th of this month. 37,336 confirmed COVID-19 cases reported so far in the country. And Centre releases second installment of financial assistance to women under Pradhan, Mantri, Gareeb, Kalyan, Yojana. Centre has extended the ongoing nationwide lockdown by 2 weeks from 4th of this month. Home Ministry said the decision has been taken after a comprehensive review of the COVID-19 situation. The prohibited activities include travel by air, rail, metro and interstate movement by road, running of schools, colleges and other educational and training hospitality services, cinema halls, malls, gymnasiums, sports complexes. All social, political, cultural and other kinds of gatherings and religious places or places of worship for public will also remain shut. Movement of persons by air, rail and road is allowed for select purposes and for purposes as permitted by the ministry. Outside the containment zone falling within red zones, certain activities are prohibited in addition to those prohibited throughout the country, which includes plying of cycle rickshaws and auto rickshaws, running of taxis and cab aggregators, intra-district and inter-district plying of buses and barber shops, spas and saloons. In the green zones, all activities are permitted except the limited number of activities which are prohibited throughout the country irrespective of the zone. All government offices shall function with senior officers of the level of Deputy Secretary and above at full strength and the remaining staff attending up to 33% as per requirement. All domestic and international flight services will remain suspended in the country till the midnight of 17th of this month. Office of the Director General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, in an official release today stated that the decision has been taken as a measure to contain the corona pandemic. It further stated that both foreign and domestic airlines will be informed about opening of operations in due course. The restriction is not applicable on international all-cargo operations and other special flight operations approved by DGCA. Chief Minister Nipyu Rio has expressed gratitude to everyone for extending help to the people of Nagaland across India during COVID-19 lockdown with ration supplies and financial assistance from government, NGOs and individuals. In a tweet, Rio said the assistance exemplifies the spirit and solidarity needed at this time. Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Pangnu Phom, yesterday launched the TrueNat machine for preliminary screening of samples at Regional Diagnostic Center Imkongleba Memorial District Hospital. The TrueNat is a chip-based RT-PCR for screening of COVID-19. The process of testing involves a respiratory sample from throat or nasopharyngeal swab, which are required for testing. If the test result is negative, the test is confirmatory negative for the sample. However, test may be repeated after a few days if the case is still suspicious of COVID-19. The installation of this lab is the first of its kind in the state and subsequently the second lab will be installed at Mon shortly. District Task Force DTF Kifiri District held a meeting today to discuss various parameters of guidelines issued by Ministry of Home Affairs. Addressing the meeting, Deputy Commissioner Sarita Yadav said, with the extension of lockdown, Nagaland has been designated as green zone and certain areas of activities will be permitted to function as per the guidelines issued by the government. The DC also briefed the DTF members on stranded students and people from Kohima and Dimapur who want to return back to their respective districts and town. Chief Medical Officer Kifiri, Dr. E. Motakang Padon said, stranded persons will be allowed to enter the district after screening and they will be put to home quarantine for 14 days. In the meeting, District Education Officer Dipandu said, digital lesson for class 8, 9, 10 and 12 has started through Doordarshan, YouTube and All India Radio, Kohima. He informed that for those students who have no access to television, the village council has been asked to make arrangement by making use of the village council hall by maintaining social distancing. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. The country has reported 37,336 confirmed COVID-19 cases so far. Ministry of Health in a statement said that the central government is taking several steps along with the states and union territories for prevention, containment and management of COVID-19 through a graded, preemptive and proactive approach. It said these are being regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest level. In Nagaland, the total samples sent for testing is 674, out of which 661 samples are negative. The number of samples sent after 3 p.m. yesterday till 3 p.m. today is 10. Meanwhile, the number of sample results awaited is 13. Centre has released the second installment of 500 rupees into the accounts of women beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Yojana. Under the Pradhan Mantri Gareeb Kalyan Yojana, every women beneficiary has to be provided 3 installments of 500 rupees starting from last month. The second installment has been released to a large number of banks, which will now credit the amount into the accounts of the beneficiaries. Around 20 crore women beneficiaries received the first installment for last month in its first week. Government has also announced a debt plan for beneficiaries to visit the bank in order to maintain social distancing. Beneficiaries with account numbers ending with 0 and 1 are advised to visit the bank branch on 4th of this month. Accounts ending with 2 and 3 should visit banks on 5th May. Those beneficiaries whose accounts end with number 4 and 5 should visit the banks on 6th May, while those with 6 and 7 on 8th May and accounts ending with numbers 8 and 9 should visit the bank branch on 11th of this month. Chagasang Public Organization CPO has called for a strong and effective planning for economic sustainability at the state and village level. In a press release issued by the President and General Secretary of the organization, it said efforts must be put to plant more crops with innovative methods to harvest in abundance. It also reiterated the CPO resolution as Year of Tree Plantation, where every village authority are requested to implement the resolution from this month with all seriousness by collecting locally available nursery plant for plantation. It further said that facts on quarantine and COVID-19 needed to be thoroughly disseminated, especially in the village. The organization also extended appreciation to those who have done a commendable service by extending both financially and materially during the lockdown period. Association of Kohima Municipal Wards Panchayat has appealed to all citizens, NGOs and unions to adhere to the fundamental duties and extend all possible assistance to the government for the safety of all. In an appeal, it has requested the state government, its agencies, district administration, Kohima Municipal Council and other authorities to continue rendering their support in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, recognizing the need of a unified team starting from an individual, family and community. It reminded all under the territorial limits of Kohima municipality to acknowledge, respect and obey the authority of the law established and extend all possible cooperation. The association also expressed apprehensions and dangers of sudden and complete lifting of lockdown, which will cause sudden burst of activities. The association pointed out that the current objective assessment of the state's resources to combat COVID-19 is not encouraging. Further, the association assured complete support to the government in the fight against COVID-19. The Konyak Union has said that the recent outbreak of COVID-19 has given birth to another form of severe pandemic, which is hunger and sickness. In a press statement issued by the union, it said the lockdown imposed under Sagaing division of Myanmar is causing untold deprivation, especially within Konyak customary jurisdiction. In this regard, the union has decided to extend relief to Konyaks in Myanmar and has appealed to all concerned to expedite for official clearance from the concerned authority. And Nagaland government has informed that all existing guidelines with regard to lockdown in all parts of Nagaland will continue to remain operative. In an order, Chief Secretary Temjantoi said all existing guidelines issued on 20th April will continue to remain functional till the issuance of fresh guidelines. To end the news, a repeat of the headlines. Amid extension of third lockdown, relaxations allowed in green zones, restrictions continue in red zones. All flight services to remain suspended till 17th of this month. 37,336 confirmed COVID-19 cases reported so far in the country. And Centre releases second installment of financial assistance to women under Pradhan, Mantri, Gareeb, Kalyan, Yojana. That's all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.